What's your name?
Robin.
Mine's Bruce.
For a long time now, people have been speculating that Matt Reeves could potentially bring Robin back to the silver screen in an upcoming sequel to The Batman. And it seems to me that these theories have only become more popular since The Batman release. I'll be honest though, I don't really agree with the notion that DC and WB hate Robin or are scared of using the character though. I mean, it's been 4 solo Batman movies since we've seen him in live action. 5 total, including Batman v Superman, and 3 of those were a trilogy, and The Dark Knight Rises has their version of Robin in it, so considering that and also seeing the Robin suit in BVS, acknowledging the character's existence and influence on Bruce, I don't count that as much as Rises because Robin himself, or a version of, isn't actually in the film. Now that I kinda got that out of the way, let's cover the main topic, and that is Robin in animation. There's been more animated Batman stuff than there's been live action, so I feel like this is an important part of TV and film to always include. I mean, Batman the Animated Series and the rest of the DCAU has and will probably always have my favorite versions of so many of these characters. The animated shows and movies can have massive influence on the comics and mythos of a character. The DCAU and the first 2 seasons of Young Justice are proof of that.
That evens things up a little.
Not really, bird boy.
But I'm only going to be covering the movies today because Robin has been in a lot of shows. This list isn't even all of them, it's only the ones I've actually seen, so yeah, movies only for now. This gives us a smaller area to cover, which means it will be easier to see how often Robin is really utilized in the world of Batman. It's honestly probably the same, if not more, in shows versus the movies. And also, the last ground rule I've set in place for this video is that I'm only going to cover Batman films. I understand when Robin isn't in Justice League properties, so even though there are Justice League movies featuring Robin, I'm only covering the 31 or so Batman movies that we've had since 1993. Look, I do not want to talk about Batman Unlimited because I have nothing nice to say. But Robin is in each of them, regardless of whether he has a character or not. He's there. So if you want to include those with my total at the end, add 3. Now let's run through all the other animated Batman movies and see how often Robin is used versus how often he is not. He/she, I'm sorry for all the Carrie Kelly lovers. I have not forgotten about her, but Robin is usually a guy, okay, so I'll probably say he a lot in this video. I apologize ahead of time. I love Carrie Kelly.
Let me go or we'll both die! Whatever it takes!
If I'm not back in time, go without me.
What? Wait!
Where's Robin?
Robin?
Penguin owns this place?
Along with Duquesne and Thorne.
I'm the Batman. And you're dust.
Lieutenant Gordon is a good judge of character.
Mongo wasn't his usual talkative self.
And Grundy sounded like William F. Buckley.
You know, I thought I'd be the last person you'd ever let him hurt.
Your cousin just torched $50,000 worth of custom hardware.
Send me the bill.
You know, I'm practically blind without my glasses.
Gotta fly. Hey, Alfred.
Catwoman, did you see that?
Robin.
Come on, you gotta give me this one.
Us. Me and your son.
Son.
Barrett, that's the Thursday crew. This isn't live, they're broadcasting old footage. Something's wrong in Arkham.
The choice you made tonight will define you for the rest of your life.
If that's your best Batman, you're not gonna fool anyone, Grayson.
I've been thinking lately about you. You and me. About how this is going to end.
Poor people have it. Rich people need it. If you eat it, you die. What is it?
Nothing.
I don't want to make my other dad, Bruce Wayne, angry. Do you think we'll be done before my bedtime?
Bedtime!
I could go for a Reuben myself about now, with extra crowd.
Holy resurrection! The evil extractor! Robin!
I almost forgot. A bat snack for Scooby. You've earned it.
Ain't that right, Dickie? Names, Jason. Remember? You don't say a name.
Psycho, they've all been destroyed at the hands of the Joker. But I have my mind, my spirit, And all of you.
Mikey, get down.
Nah, man. I live up here now.
You should listen to him.
Is it too much to ask for one quiet weekend?
It's like they're all crawling out from under the carpets now.
Robin?
Yeah, let's do this.
Kids, what are you gonna do?
I know what happened to you, to your family, the whole... Now you want to stop that from happening to anyone else.
Where'd you find them?
You're not going to like it. It's hard to believe the man who stood on this roof and made that promise would cross the line.
Now that we have all the movies we will be discussing and which ones feature Robin along with the ones that don't, let's break it down, compare, and further elaborate. Since there's far less movies without Robin than with, let's start there. There are 10 out of the 31 movies discussed, 2 of those being two-parters, so 29 movies, 31 movies depending on how you look at it. But still, only under a third of the movies featuring Batman in animated form are without a Robin. And like I said earlier, this isn't even including the Batman Unlimited films, which each star the character as well. I will say that in a few of these movies, Robin is already an established character, he just doesn't appear in the films. The main two being Mask of the Phantasm and Assault on Arkham. Phantasm being connected to Batman the Animated Series and Arkham to the games of the same name respectively. Along with The Killing Joke, I haven't seen the Superman Batman movies in their entirety recently enough to speak on those two, but the other 5, Bruce has yet to meet Dick Grayson. Now moving on to a few that need a bit of elaboration. There are only 3, first is maybe the most complicated, Scooby-Doo and Batman the Brave and the Bold. I think it's fair to say this movie has or doesn't have a Robin, because yes, you never do actually see a Robin, but it's a character who we have seen in the show previously. The reason I count this as having a Robin and not Phantasm or Assault on Arkham though, is because the suit is actually worn in this movie. It may be by Velma, but it is still donned in the film. Batman Hush briefly features Damian, not enough to claim that Robin features in the movie, but since Robin started with Dick and Nightwing is a large part of Hush, I'm counting it as a movie that features a Robin. And lastly in this department is Gotham by Gaslight. This is technically the Robins pre-Robin, but they are called by name, so kinda the reverse of the Scooby-Doo here, but it still counts as having Robin. Well, multiple Robins actually. There's also more than just one moment with them. They get included in the ending scene, which I believe is showcasing how important the character of Robin is to the Batman mythos. The same thing this video is hopefully doing. Now let's move on to the movies that have Robin through its entirety, and there are a lot. Batman and Harley Quinn maybe should have been placed in the last category along with Hush, since it is Nightwing and not Robin, but this one just feels like more of a buddy cop movie with Batman, Nightwing, and Harley. From what I remember, there's a lot more references to Dick's time as Robin in this movie too. I feel like that's really the only one here that needs to be explained. All the others you can take at face value. I've already discussed a lot of these movies in further detail in previous videos, so before we touch base on a few of them more, let's do the math.
Hey, Strange! You know what's cooler than magic? Math!
I like including two-parters as one movie just to simplify things. With that logic, there are 29 movies total, and only 10 are without a Robin, which is equivalent to around 34.5%, meaning Robin is in 65.5% of the animated Batman movies. If you take it a step further and include two-part movies as 2 separate entries, which would be 67.7%, and including the Batman Unlimited films, even though I'd prefer to forget they exist, Robin is in 70.6% of animated Batman movies. I'm sure you all knew Robin was in quite a bit of these movies, but actually seeing that high of a number is kind of insane. Nearly 71%, that's no joke. DC loves using Robin. Before I wrap things up, I want to take a look at what I say is the top 10 Robin movies. At number 10 is Lego Batman the Movie DC Superheroes Unite. This fool is ridiculous at times, sometimes lovable, but I miss when he didn't talk. The Dark Knight Returns. Robin doesn't even do a lot if we disregard her saving Batman's life, but like I said earlier, I love Carrie Kelly. I wasn't lying. Batman Bad Blood. There are 2 Robins, but this is a video showcasing Batman and Robin's time on screen together, so it can't go much higher because Batman isn't really in much of his own movie. Oh my god, now there are 3 Robins. Maybe this should be number 1. I have a video talking about this movie, so go check that out if you'd like to hear my thoughts on it. And at 6 is the Lego Batman movie. Hey, Family Matters is funny, but this one is funnier. And Lego Batman is actually a deep movie. I'm not crying, you're crying. Robin is innocent and funny. He's a sweet child. He adds a lot to the film, in my opinion. Now into the top 5 we go, and it's another movie I have a full video on. Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero. Dick Grayson is a badass in this movie. Just watch the Mr. Freeze chase scene. Incredible. Batman vs. Robin. This is the one where Damian actually grows as a character. Return of the Caped Crusaders. Burt Ward is goated. Adam West is goated. Batman 66 is the king. Runner-up, which it's so hard for me not to put this at number 1. Although I like it more. Robin's role in the next film is slightly more important, I think. It's obviously very important here as well, but Batman Beyond Return of the Joker is more about Terry becoming his own Batman, and Terry isn't a Robin. All the Tim Drake stuff is great though. The movie is legitimately terrifying at times. And number 1 is Batman Under the Red Hood. Jason isn't even Robin aside from the opening of the movie and a few flashbacks throughout, but this movie all the way through is about Robin. Nightwing's incorporation into the movie is something I absolutely love. You get callbacks to his time as the Boy Wonder as well. Both my number 1 and 2 picks show how important Robin is to Batman and how close Bruce is with whoever he takes in to don the mantle. They are both tragic and heartbreaking. Robin is Batman's anchor in a way, and breaking Robin is breaking Batman. Under the Red Hood and Return of the Joker are 2 movies that showcase it in the darkest ways possible, but some of the most powerful ways possible as well.
Listen, dipstick, Batman's my pal. He can be a major jerk, but you gotta love him.
So yeah, that was my ranking. It's kind of hard to rank them as Robin movies because they are obviously Batman movies. Batman is the main character in each and every one of them, but Robin does play a massive part in plenty of these movies. Robin is there with Batman more than he isn't. Robin is integral to Batman as a character. I think we've proven that today. With this video, the math shows it. It was just animation, but live action too. There's been only 10 live action Batman movies since 1966, not counting the Justice League films. And he's in 3 of those, okay? That's 30% of the Batman movies, but most of these movies have just been Batman growing as a character, and you can't really have Robin without Batman already formed as his own character, because of course Batman's not going to take a kid in to fight crime with him if he is not comfortable with who he is at that moment. I think the possibility of getting a Robin in live action again with Batman, because we already had that in Titans. We've had a Robin in live action. It just hasn't been with Batman. And when Robin was with Batman, it just hits different. I think the possibility of that happening soon is high. I think it's a good possibility that Matt Reeves will go that direction with this Batman. It feels like the right time. It feels like the right choice. I trust Matt Reeves. I think he will do it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think about all these animated movies? What do you think the next live action Batman movie will be? Do you think Robert Pattinson's Batman will get a Robin eventually, if not the next film, maybe the 3rd or the 4th, however long Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson want to do this? I mainly covered animated movies in this because that's what the main thing on my channel is. That's what a lot of people are subscribed to me for, and I do love the DC animated movies. I briefly touched on the animated shows and the live action movies, even Titans, but the main talk is always the movies, and it's usually the live action films, sure, but I don't think these animated movies should be overlooked. A lot of them are great. Robin is great in them, Batman is great in them, that Batman-Robin dynamic is there. Go check them out if you haven't. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time.